Hey, it's good to see you. It's been a while, hasn't it? So, about 7 months ago, I put out a video of proposing a pitched pity system that involves collecting 50 tokens from harder bosses in exchange for a pitched item. Nearly 6,000 of you guys saw it and seemed to spread the idea around far and wide. So on August 13th, Director Inkwell published a heavily requested note. In it, he goes over some of the things that he wants to add in the massive quality of life improvements for the winter update, and among most of these notable changes, it's pretty much what I was asking for, and more. And truth be told, I was going to make a secondary video that advocated for the idea of Star Force pity, for a few good reasons, but Inkwell beat me to the punch. He's looking to add a system like the one I proposed, collecting fragments of equipments to exchange for a pitched, and to restore things that have been destroyed. Multiple ways, even. Additionally, he wants to reduce the penalty for destroyed items. As much as I love the idea, I feel the need to be a bit skeptical of these points, and I'd like to give my thoughts on them, point by point. So, pitch tokens. The catch is, though, that it's the alternative idea for having tokens. So it's for individual pitched items instead of having them be a catch-all. So now the question evolves into, how many fragments are we going to need to collect? If we take a look at TMS's pitched pity system, they gotta get like 50 shards for one item. Are these fragments a 100% guaranteed drop? Will it consist of 1 to 3 fragments per week based on drop rate? Is there a minimum number of weeks needed running these bosses to obtain an item? So I just refer to this as restoration. It looks like Inkwell wants people to break past the RNG hurdle stage of progression here in GMS. On paper, this sounds great because I'll be able to finally get my last 2 pitched items to a usable state and then get them all to 26 stars without having a heart attack whenever I'm faced with the thought of, am I gonna have to spend another year and a half before I see one of these things drop and have another shot? But at that point, I have to remember, this is Nexon. This is the guy who made Star Force. This is the guy that invented potentials and cubing. I worry I might have to continue to be skeptical about this whole restoration thing because who knows the conditions that must be met for this quest. Surely it couldn't be running additional bosses, as running additional bosses would just be collecting fragments. My personal thought that it might have to be killing a whole bunch of monsters. I don't know, like 100k or something? Or maybe they drop an item that must be collected to restore these items, like 10 lunar dues. I don't know, something like that. In regard to the item itself, and considering it made its own point in Inkwell's list, I have to wonder if they intend to monetize it by selling it in the cash shop of both worlds just to be able to skip the quest. It is a tempting offer, I'll admit, but I fear it might turn some people off if they're told, hey, restore your item for only $40, or something like that. Perhaps, though, this item could also be offered as an event reward. This one kind of stuck out to me as well, and thought it was interesting that it would be its own point in the list. As we know, the Star Force system will be changed so that it'll be 30 stars as the max as opposed to 25. When Inkwell mentions the penalty, I can only assume he's referencing to the system that brings an item's stars back to 12 when it booms, right? So will this new penalty be so that it'll be 15 stars when it's repaired? Will a new checkpoint be introduced at 20 stars, so anyone going for 26 can rest easy knowing that they'll just be at 20 when they boom? Or will Inkwell go all out and just allow us to restore an item at the star it boomed to a certain point? At least, I don't know, maybe until 22. We can't have people running around with 26-star items with no risk reward, of course. But who knows? We likely won't have the details until they are either explained at MapleCon LA in October, or when the winter update fully comes around. There's plenty of changes in this update that could absolutely revolutionize how GMS is played and perceived. I just hope it sticks the landing. Truth be told, I just want to be done with my pitches at this point. Eternals are a major meso and time sink as well. If this means I don't have to spend 5 more years gambling and praying I get lucky enough, I'll be all in for this new system.